1. LG OLED Series. Formidable gaming specification and excellent image quality makes LG's CX series a hot option for high-end gamers. Sizes: 48, 55, 65, and 77 inches. Input lag: 13 milliseconds, 1080/60ths. Display type: OLED. Refresh rate: 120 Hz. HDR, Dolby Vision, HDR10, HLG. VRR, yes. HDMI 2.1, yes. Pros: excellent image quality, ticks all the display boxes, 4 HDMI 2.1 inputs. Cons: OLED can suffer from image retention, UK models lack Freeview Play and mainstream catch-up TV apps. LG's mid-range 4K OLED is arguably the best specified of all the current crop of high-end UHD TVs. Image quality is outstanding, with superb dynamics, black level and shadow detail. Unusually, the CX boasts 4 HDMI 2.1 inputs. Most sets offer a mix of 2.1 and 2.0, or simply lack 2.1 altogether. We're looking at Philips and Panasonic. Features include VRR, variable refresh rate, ALLM, auto low latency mode, and 4K at 120 Hz. If you want a screen that does it all, then the LG CX is an excellent choice. The only caveat is image retention, aka burn-in, which can be an issue for OLED, when images remain static on screen for too long. All in all, though, this was the clear winner in the gaming TV category in our recent CGH Awards. 2. Samsung QN-Q70T, QE-Q70T. This affordable QLED is also one of the cheapest UHD screens to support 120 FPS gaming sizes, 55, 65, 75, and 87 inches. Input lag: 20 milliseconds, 1080/60ths with Game Motion Plus. Display type: QLED. Refresh rate: 120 Hz. HDR, HDR10 Plus, HDR10, HLG. VRR, yes. HDMI 2.1, yes. Pros: vibrant color performance. Free from image burn. 2 game modes. Cons: no local dimming. The Q70T may lack the full-array local dimming backlight found higher up Samsung's 2020 QLED range, but it compensates with an affordable price tag and dynamic picture performance. One of the least expensive 4K TVs to offer 4K 120 FPS support, the Q70T won't break the bank, but will show your game's console in the best light. The fourth HDMI is the one that's 4K 120 FPS ready, the remaining HDMIs are all 4K 60 FPS enabled. Another neat feature is mobile multi-view with casting, which allows the TV image and your smartphone to be viewed simultaneously, useful if you're playing a game while following a YouTube walkthrough. Like all of Samsung's QLEDs, there are 2 game modes. Game Motion Plus achieves low input lag, but still maintains elements of picture processing for the best possible picture quality. Input lag in this mode is a respectable 20 milliseconds. Game Motion Plus can be switched off, which then unleashes a blisteringly fast 9 milliseconds input lag, 1080p, 60. 3. LG Nano90 Nanocell LED. Don't overlook LG's Nanocell LED screens when it comes to gaming displays. Sizes: 55, 65, 75 inches. Input lag: 17 milliseconds, 1080/60ths. Display type: LED. Refresh rate: 120 Hz. HDR, Dolby Vision, HDR10, HLG. VRR, yes. HDMI 2.1, yes. Pros: solid picture performance. Free from image burn. 2 high-speed HDMI inputs. Cons: losing contrast when viewed off-angle. LG's OLEDs tend to hog the limelight, but its nanocell screens are an intriguing LED-based alternative. This 9 series model sports 2 high-speed 4K 120 FPS compatible inputs, handy if you're planning to play in both camps. It's a mid-range performer when it comes to HDR brightness, but full-array dimming keeps the dynamics nice and tight. This, coupled with relatively low image lag, makes for a good gaming screen. The set is also compatible with HDMI VRR and ALLM. 4. Sony X900HX800. If you're looking for a PS5 ready 120Hz Sony TV, this is the one. Sizes: 55, 65, 75, and 85 inches. Input lag: 17 milliseconds, 1080 60ths. Display type: LED. Refresh rate: 120 Hz. HDR, Dolby Vision, HDR10, HLG. VRR, yes. HDMI 2.1, yes. Pros: superb image engine. Powerful Android smart platform. 2 high-speed HDMI inputs. Cons: VRR, 4K 120fps firmware update not fully rolled out yet. Image artifacts in dark scenes on native Netflix app. If you want a Sony TV to showcase your PS5, hurry past those Sony OLEDs and take a long look at this model, as it promises support for 4K 120fps via a firmware update which has started rolling out recently. Sony's image processor is one of the best out there, and it's particularly adept at upscaling non-HDR and HD content. Basically, Sony's image engine makes everything look good. There's support for ALLM and VRR too, at least when Sony enables the latter via firmware. Input lag is bonza at 15 milliseconds, 1080p, 60. Editor's note: I had one of these TVs in for testing recently, and while I found it was excellent for gaming, I was really disappointed with the native Netflix app as it struggled with dark scenes with lots of blocky image artifacting. This never happens when gaming though. Pop a Fire TV stick in though and problem solved. Hulk. 5. Vizio V Series 2020. The US TV brand delivers a solid budget option for gamers with the LED flat screen. Sizes: 40, 43, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75 inches. Input lag: 10 milliseconds, 1080 60ths. Display type: LED. Refresh rate: 60 Hz. HDR, Dolby Vision, HDR10+, HDR10, HLG. VRR, no. HDMI 2.1, no. Pros: bargain basement price. Low input lag. 4K 60fps HDMI input. Cons: low brightness HDR. Number 120fps high frame rate support. The V-Class Vizio screens are aimed at buyers on a tight budget, and as such, they don't come with a whole stack of game-centric features. They're more HDR compatible than HDR able, as screen brightness just isn't very high, but if you're after a TV that won't put you at a disadvantage when in a melee, they're well worth a look. There's no VRR support, but input lag is stupendously low, and the screen will work happily with 4K at 60 fps. Budget bargain or stop-gap panel? Maybe a bit of both. Vizio TVs are mainly only available in the US. We rarely see them in the UK. 6. Samsung TU8000, TU8500. This Samsung Crystal UHD could be the best budget gaming TV for the Xbox Series X and PS5. Sizes: 43, 55, 65 inches. Input lag: 12 milliseconds, 1080 60ths. Display type: LED. Refresh rate: 60 Hz. HDR, HDR10+, HDR10, HLG. VRR, no. HDMI 2.1, no. Pores: vibrant, color-rich images. Ultra-low input lag. 4K 60fps HDMI input. Cons: no VRR. Number 120fps high frame rate support. Samsung's QLED UHD flat screens are the glory hounds, but the brand's Crystal UHD models, like this TU8000 model, sell by the truckload, and it's easy to see why. Picture quality is striking, the brand's Tizen smart platform is first class, and input lag is wonderfully low. The inevitable budget caveat is that there are only 3 HDMIs, with number 120fps frame rate support. Given the asking price, that's hardly a surprise. There's no VRR, but we do get ALLM. Just like Samsung's QLED models, there's multi-view simultaneous smartphone, TV viewing, and we get 2 game modes. Game Motion Plus delivers at 26.7 milliseconds, 1080 60ths, while the hardcore game mode comes in at a stonking 11.7 milliseconds, 1080 60ths. 7. Panasonic TX-50HX800. A beautiful mix of Hollywood-tuned imagery and low input lag, this mid-ranger is perfect for games and movies. Sizes: 50, 58, 65 inches. Input lag: 10 milliseconds 1080 60ths. Display type: LED. Refresh rate: 60 Hz. HDR, Dolby Vision, HDR10+, HDR10, HLG. VRR, no. HDMI 2.1, no. Pros: universal HDR support. Low input lag. 4K 60 FPS HDMI input. Cons: no VRR. Number 120 FPS high frame rate support. Panasonic's HX800 is a mid-range UHD TV that's tuned for movie lovers, but has a blisteringly fast game response with 4K 60 FPS HDMI inputs. For many buyers, this could be the ideal living room compromise. One consequence of its advantageous price point is the provision of just 3 HDMI inputs, which could be a problem if you're aiming to buy both the PS5 and Xbox Series X. There's no VRR, all the HDMIs are V2.0, but we do get ALLM, and input lag is hugely impressive at just 10.2 milliseconds 1080 60ths. A great all-rounder. This particular Panasonic model is rarely available outside of Europe.